Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? It's been a heck of a year and I would just like to forget most of it. Happy New Year! Hurry back. Just an 80s boy and a 90s teen, going on all things Disney, from house to parks and in between. Come share the magic with me. La 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 la. Live your life to a Disney tune. Come and share Jake's Disney Afternoon. Happy New Year, Disney Afternoon gang. My name is Jake. Thanks for coming back to my channel. If you're returning, I appreciate it when you come back. And if you're new, I do all kinds of Disney content, including subscription boxes, hauls, vintage trips, trivia. If it's Disney, we're doing it. So you're going to want to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the next Disney adventure. It was a year ago today that I posted my very first video on YouTube. Just a little teaser. It was my theme song with all the pictures, and I just wanted to put it out there. I told nobody about what I was doing. I just kind of like did it. Didn't tell my family, didn't tell too many people, but just wanted to start. And that's what we started with. Here we are a year later. I'm celebrating over 500 subscribers and one of the most fantastic years of my life, despite like a million things going wrong around us. It was still a really good year. So I thought we would celebrate a little bit with this little mini series I'm calling like How To, just based on what I've learned this year. So I'm hoping that you'll enjoy that. Plus, we're going to do a little giveaway, but you're going to have to pay attention and watch in order to be eligible. So I'm just going to put that little plug in now. So I thought for my first video, I would do a how-to YouTube video. And before anyone thinks that I'm some kind of expert, I'm not. I just am sharing with you some thoughts that I wish I had learned or knew or seen kind of up front before I started my channel. And I will tell you that, listen, experience is going to be your best teacher. It always is, in life and in everything. But in YouTube, a lot of it is just learning on your own, observing, watching, trial and error. But I thought I would share with you some tips if you're just starting out. Maybe you've been thinking about a channel but weren't really sure how to begin. Maybe you're a newer channel. Maybe you're a very seasoned channel and just rethinking some of your strategies for this year. Because the thing about YouTube is, it changes all the time. The algorithms, what's popular, you know, so there's no like sit down and do your formula thing. So let's get going. I've got my notes over here. And I'm going to ask, if you're thinking about doing a YouTube channel, or if you are a YouTube channel, ask yourself 3 questions. Who are you? What do you love? And what makes your channel unique? I think these are 3 really great reflective questions upon a new year, because it gives us a little bit of a mindset for who are you? What experience do you bring from life? What age demographic do you bring from life? What opportunities have you had? What loves do you have? What makes you you? Because that's what a lot of people are tuning into. I know the people I genuinely enjoy watching are the people who have something special and unique to them. Sorry if you hear a little bit of New York City. Fireworks, fire truck starting, fireworks must be going off illegally somewhere. Second question, what do you love? What is your channel going to be known for? Whether you like it or not, people get known for loving certain things. So Clipper and Kitten, Clipper likes, we know, Donald Fauntleroy Duck, and Kitten loves Pocahontas. Seth over at Seth Lavender is a Hunchback fan. Louisa Ruby loves Chip and Dale. ABRIS Adventure Selma likes Rapunzel, and Rosalind likes Little Mermaid, and Lindsay at OK Disney loves Peter Pan. That's just a few people that I know things about. But you're going to get known for loving something. So it's good to know what it is. It's good to know how to optimize that a little bit. Just a really good reflective question. What makes your channel so unique? What are things that you can bring to video format that maybe are special or different than other people? You know, when I first started, I, of course, had named my channel Disney Afternoon. But beyond that, I was a little bit skittish of staying in the niche of like Disney afternoon, but also kind of like my vintage category of like 70s, 80s, and 90s movies, which are a little less popular. I was afraid that people would not know them, people would not want to watch about them, and it turns out it's the thing that people come to me and ask me questions about, and has sort of become my area of expertise. So think about what makes you unique and embrace it. Don't, like me, run from it. Really embrace it and put it out there. You know, thinking about some other YouTube channels, AJANCLAIR over at Being AJANCLAIR loves to collect loungefly. Girls collection is on fire. But not only that, she's also in tune with a lot of these small shop sellers and a lot of these, yeah, I guess they're all called small shop sellers that have exclusives when they're going to be released. She's talked with them a lot. She's got codes for a lot of them. So we know her for that. April over at Thrifty Nerdy Mom, she does a lot more practical content, including like DIYs, Dollar Tree, things like that. And that makes her unique. Cherie over at SurferGirl326 loves to collect plush and vintage. And we kind of know that. Cat, stop interrupting. We know her for that. So think about what makes your channel unique. What makes you special? What might set you apart in this community? So let's talk a little bit about the actual content, because that's obviously the thing people are tuning into. So I'm starting sort of linearly through the top of the video to the end of the video. Think through your intro. I spend the most amount of time on my intro, whether it's a little song parody that I've written, or like a character sketch where I'm acting out silly things, or some kind of question. It's your like 15 seconds to zing people and to get them to stay and watch your video based on how you have pulled them in. So some options are Two Tiny Wings do like a cliffhanger style clip from the vid. So they find some sort of moment from the video itself and bring it to the front. And it's usually like something funny, or something like, oops, something bad happened, or something exciting happened, and then it cuts away from it and you're drawn in immediately. Lauren over at Castles, Capes, and Clones has his catchphrase, "Let's get cracking," he always says. And I'm telling you, that sends like a surge of energy rushing through you. So he tells you the topic, then he says, "Let's get cracking," and you're like hooked and ready to go. Cami over at KITTEN has her little phrase of, "I do mostly Disney content with, is it a sprinkle? A sprinkle, I think, of Bath and Body Works." And so instantly you have a definition of her channel. MELICK Adventures, Ben and Danielle start with that big, "Hello, adventurers." And then the two of them do this like back and forth style of like sort of finishing each other's sentences, which I think is really charming and unique, because there's two people on that channel. So they can do something that maybe I can't. Because the cat refuses to participate. Hi, baby. Moving ahead, thumbnails. Thumbnails are the thing that you're going to use to promote your video on social media, Instagram or Facebook, and they should tell their own story. I'm a little bit late to that game myself. I always was doing a lot of colorful things, but in terms of the storytelling that goes into what the video is going to be about, draws people, catches people's eyes. So think about color, think about action, think about a word or a phrase in the picture itself that's just not a repeat of the title. We all can see the title. You don't need it twice. So what is something that you can put up into the thumbnail itself? A question, something funny, you know, so be creative and think about the topic that you're doing. Invest in some software. I started with PicMonkey, which was, I think, like $7 a month or something. And it has an app for your phone, and then as a desktop version, it does a lot of great things. It's cheaper than a lot of things like Canva and stuff like that, which Canva is more what I'm using now. It has a few more features, but start simple, but it gives your videos just that professional edge that draws people in a little bit more. Think about the background. The background is going to tell a lot of your story about what you collect, and sort of draws people in just a little bit. It doesn't have to be a lot. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Like, this is except with the exception of like the pins and things, most of this artwork I've had and just sort of focused on. I'll put a little clip of sort of the like surrounding area of this, and it doesn't look all that great. So think about how the camera really just focuses on just a very small featured area, and then decorate that. Some people to check out, Jamie over at Jamie's Disney Kingdom has a really fun and bright background. Ashley over at Ashley's Wonderland, she has some sort of square buckets that she thoughtfully changes out by the season, so there's constantly like a different updated theme to it. Matt over at Teacup for One has this red theatrical curtain and his talking robot, which is kind of fun. And then of course the thing that he's actually talking about. Jess from Upside Down Disney has a really cool background, similar in sort of eclectic-y to mine, in that there's just a lot of Disney coming at you, but I absolutely love it. So think through the intentionality of that. It'll tell your viewers about who you are, about what you like, about the mood and style you're going for. Couple other things, keep your vid short if you can. Sometimes you get an epic box like from Ashley at Hey Let's Unbox, who sent me my vintage box this past for Vlogmas, and it just took me forever to open because she was so generous. But if you can trim your videos down, or at least keep the content feeling like it's necessary rather than rambling, if it takes you 4 or 5 minutes to get to the content of your video, you've talked too long and too much. You should have a quick intro and get right to the thing. Fill in your talking as you're opening boxes, as you're showing off things, but don't give us this long, like 5-minute lecture and then be like, oh yeah, let's start the thing that you came here for. Time is precious to people. Keep it moving, keep it moving. Select one topic or subject. If you're doing pins, keep it to pins. If you're doing a shopping haul, keep it to that one store that you talked about, you know, Burlington or Dollar Tree or something like that. Don't throw everything at the wall. It confuses people, it bores people, and ultimately it makes your video that much longer and you're going to turn people off. So think about narrowing it down, and then whatever you don't use, you have left over now for another video. So now instead of doing one video, you might get 2 or 3 videos out of the same thing you were going to cram into one. I have a small list here of free or cheap vid ideas. I think it's maybe assumed or a turn off to people that your content always has to be like Loungeflies and a million pins and your epic Disney World haul. It doesn't always have to cost you money. So here's a few ideas that are free or on the cheap side. Review a movie or a show or a book. Doesn't cost you anything. Throw in a couple of clips. You know, organize your talking points. Organize your talking points. Don't just ramble, but make it really thoughtful and cost you nothing. Talk about pre-orders or upcoming releases. So you're more of like a news channel segment about what's coming. So if you're really into pins and all the new releases, talk about those, or the new Loungeflies or the Jim Shores or what's happening at Disney World. Be informative to people. Again, prepare your notes. Go shopping at various stores for related merch. So even if, you know, this could apply to any themed channel, it doesn't have to be Disney. It could be clothes or toys or kid stuff. Go to different stores and show people what they could get on discount, what they could find that might be sort of out of the box thinking. Costs you a little bit of time, but it doesn't cost you any money. You don't even have to buy anything. Show off your local area. I live in New York City, so there's been some opportunities for me to show off some shopping. I went to the Christmas tree at Rockefeller Center. My Disney store still happens to be open, so I go shopping there sometimes. But think about museums, historic areas, food-related areas, all fun things to show off. Share collections or items you already have. Chances are, if you're doing particularly a Disney channel, you have some stuff, childhood toys or memorabilia, things that you sort of collected along the way. Group those into a related grouping. Don't throw everything at the wall. Make them sort of, you know, compact and thoughtful, and just share that. You already have the stuff. Share it. Maybe do a video of the history of something. For those of you who are history buffs, I love it. You could do the history of a ride at Disney World, or a cartoon, or a character, or an artist, or a person, or an actor, or a movie that's been remade. The topics are endless, right? So think about, you know, sharing some knowledge with us. people like when they get something in return, a tip, some information that they didn't know. It feels like their time was well spent on your channel. Interview other people. Talk with other collectors, talk with people who are, you know, have a niche in one area or, you know, really focusing on something else. You know, I'm going to be doing actually a little bit more of this myself this coming year. So take a look at maybe doing that. It costs you, again, a little bit of time and organization, but this whole thing costs you time and organization. And if it doesn't have to cost you money, even better yet. Cook something. If it's related or appropriate, there are several people who do like Disney-inspired food or Marvel or Star Wars or something like that. It might cost you a little bit of money to get the supplies, but you know, if it can be incorporated into your dinner or a party you're going to and need to bring a dessert, you know, all the better. DIY an item you already have in your home. Think about a display case or a pin board or some other kind of holiday-related decor that you can show us how to do something creative with materials we may have or that may cost us very little money. Just a few ideas. If you have more like free or cheap ideas, I would love to start a list down below so that we can get a lot of our listeners and a lot of our other channels thinking about like, what are we doing that we could not be doing? Hi, Cat. You want to come up? He wants to say hi. Hi, baby. Want to help me? Okay. All right. All right. Well, I guess that's what we're doing now. Do you mind? Do you mind? How was it? Was it tasty? All right, consistency. Let's talk about consistency. Post. You want to go now? Okay. Post. We love the cats. Well, he's sort of. Well, all right. Well, you're going to have to live with that hair the rest of the video. Consistency. Post regularly. Decide if it's going to be once or twice a week and try to really aim for the same days. Wednesday and Saturday. Monday and Friday. You know, you may have to experiment a little bit, but, you know, be consistent. Post at the same time. I have a lot of people who get up early and watch their YouTube videos over breakfast. I like to post at, you know, 7-ish in the morning. A lot of people like to post at noon when 0 people are available, but, you know, you do you. Make yourself a calendar. Look for things like film, character, history, anniversaries, upcoming release dates, holidays. If you're going to do Vlogmas, start thinking about it that way. Get this calendar ready so that you can start theming some of your videos to something that's already being promoted out there. You know, if a new movie is coming out or a re-release is coming out and your content coincides with one of the big studios, Disney or whomever releasing it, you're going to capitalize on the marketing from that because people are interested in searching for that. And your video may actually come up because now it's tied into this larger search topic that people are looking for. So again, other things to think about. Quickly, we'll talk about community. My third video in this installment is going to be specifically about community, but just talking about it here. Create at least an IG account, maybe Facebook, although I see fewer people using Facebook. But find another place to share your content where people can search by hashtags or by topic. It may find you a little bit easier and then go to your YouTube channel via that. It's a great platform to advertise your new videos and to share a little bit more maybe about your life. People like getting to know the people that they're watching. Put your time into watching other people's videos, other content creators. Not only does it send goodwill and, you know, really, you know, shows that you're valuing other people. But you'll learn a lot from those people and hopefully then it's returned to you. Ultimately, you're going to have to watch more than you care to. If you got into doing YouTube videos because you loved watching them, you will still love watching them. But, you know, anytime a hobby becomes a career or, you know, some requirement, it loses a little bit of its magic, and that's going to be the case. But that's kind of the trade-off you do for being a part of the YouTube community. You're not going to get to everybody's video. You can't feel bad about it, but get to as many as you can. Get involved with swaps. My second video in this series is going to be all about the swapping, so stay tuned for that. But swaps are a great way to not only get to know other content creators, because I've been invited by someone I know well, into a swap with suddenly 2 or 3 other people I don't know at all. So I've expanded my community. But you'll get watch returns from those people who found other viewers that you haven't, and they'll redirect them back to you. So plus you get good stuff. Who doesn't want good stuff? Some realities about doing YouTube. Some videos are going to do better than others. there's not always a rhyme or reason. Pin videos never seem to do as well for me. I don't know why. Maybe people don't know me or want to come to me for pin expertise. They just don't do as well for me, although I still do them because I love pin collecting. And then one day I'll have a video shoot sky high and do really well, and then the next time it just doesn't land as well. You know, that's just the reality of it. You know, you want natural growth. You want people who are coming to your channel because they want to be on your channel, which leads me into like paying for followers and things like that. There's a lot of people that do, and I didn't realize that at first, and I used to get very frustrated by how fast some people were growing in comparison to me, especially anybody who I sort of felt, you know, in league with in terms of like time we started or whatever. And look, if you're paying for them, it's not my cup of tea. I can't, you know, it doesn't make them bad people, but some things to know, that there are a few channels that maybe have a lot of followers that don't get as many interactions because they've been doing it a long time and they've not been as consistent with their uploads. So they may have what looks like a large subscriber base, but not a lot of view base. Shorts tend to grow channels, but the people who watch the shorts and immediately subscribe don't necessarily turn around to lifelong viewers. Couple other things to know. People who grow crazy numbers in a very short amount of time probably have paid for them. If they have an imbalance of views to subs, meaning like either their view time is 2 or 3 times higher than their sub number or exceptionally low, they probably paid for subs. And they have a lot of views and likes, but hardly any comments, which probably means they've paid for subs. Again, this is not a judgment thing. It's just an actual thing. Yes, subs are important if you want to monetize your channel, but watch time is equally important. And views do not equal watch time. So like if you have a 5-minute video and you have 100 views, maybe half or less watched all 5 minutes. So don't be discouraged by that. If you're like me and it gets you down a little bit, you know, it is what it is. Maybe it's a part of their business model. It's not a part of mine. I want people coming back because they want to be here, because I inspire them, or they enjoy what I'm doing, or we have a good connection. I just want really real interaction and followers. And then really your goal is, you know, if you've ever done anything creative, I'm in some book writing groups like on Facebook and things. And one of the things they talk about in those groups is they don't allow advertising of your book to those groups, because your market is not really to other authors in that situation. Your market is to actual fans who consume your creative output. And the same thing is going to apply here. Sure, I have a lot of interaction and I interact with a lot of people who also happen to be YouTube content creators. Part of that is, you know, Disney YouTube is a sort of slightly smaller subset of, you know, content creators on YouTube in general. So we like to support each other. Many of them I do generally watch, but I want to engage people who just come to my channel because they enjoy what I'm doing and I provide entertainment or something for them. That gives me the most amount of pleasure. That's a lot of information, I know. I hope that has been helpful to some of you. It gives us a lot to think about as we move into the new year and think about goals for this year, growth for this year, and how we want to improve and just step up our own craft as we're making videos for people. Comment down below if you found something helpful, or if you have another helpful trick or tip that I didn't cover, because clearly this topic is endless, but I wanted to start somewhere and really want to create a thread of inspiring and thoughtful ideas that really get us in the mindset for 2022. Speaking of which, on this 1-year anniversary of mine, of course, I'm going to do a giveaway, and you're going to have to watch all 3 videos in this little series over today and Monday and Wednesday, and participate in all 3 of those in order to be eligible. So make sure you're doing that. I am going to give away a $100 curated vintage box. So if you win, you're going to send me some of your preferences for characters or shows or things, and I am going to curate a box for you, a vintage box for you, because that's really the thing that I do really well, and send it to you. I'm not a subscription box company. I'm not starting a subscription box company, but I want to be able to sort of curate something special and unique for you based on things that you like. So if you are interested in participating, you have to include the hashtag Jake's Disney Afternoon Vintage. Jake's Disney Afternoon Vintage. If you're not interested in the box, as you know, I'm a big supporter of, if you're not really into the giveaway, don't take away a chance from somebody else who really would appreciate it. Just comment down below without the hashtag. If you're interested in being entered into the giveaway, enter that hashtag. We're going to have a hashtag for each of the videos, so you're going to enter all three in order to be eligible, and then sometime, probably the following week, I will draw a name and we will get that vintage box curated and sent out in a reasonable amount of time. Hope you found that helpful. I am so looking forward to a new year. 2021 was a lot. Good, bad, ugly, all of it. Fresh start, fresh year. Let's go. Tune in for the next couple of videos in this series, and until the next Disney afternoon.